supermarket, symbol of the high standard of living in this country today. Agriculture is going far beyond nature to produce new miracles for an even better, more abundant life. Great new harvesting systems and distribution methods had to be developed to bring these crops from faraway farms fresh to our tables. And so a rolling factory gathers together the goodness of nature.
So we have been factory farming in such a way over the last several decades, and we find that those methods are not sustainable. Not sustainable in the sense the amount of water, the pollution in the water, the soil erosion by following those methods of farming. They're so bad that we are losing topsoil. So if we look at the planet from the space, we find that the density in areas have changed. And then, we're so heavily industrialized, and we moved into bigger is better, standardized, let's move here. And then we've seen how that has resulted not only in the green, but in the foods. Sustainable farming, which right now is starting in the small farms, the organic farms, the local farms. So it's like, that's how, in our grandmother's times, that's how it used to be, the old way.
I started volunteering at Hayes Valley Farm probably a couple weeks after the gates had opened. 2009, Mayor Newsom put out a directive saying and encouraging blighted land to be used for community projects. And when the volunteers came on site and there was such a huge influx of energy, the project kind of switched to more of like a volunteer community project. The kind of main goals are to grow food, or actually educate people about growing food and build community. So those two things are what we aim to do, and I think we've been really successful at that. It's a place to connect, both with nature and with each other.
First of all, for 44 years, I work in the field, and I love to see growing things. And to come to the farmer market, what I like to see is the people really eating healthy, support local grower, and that way we protect our land in here and for the future generation. And for me to grow this food is like it gave me a soul inside. Like, and I'm very attached to what we're growing, and it's part of me. Land is part of myself. So when I sit and think growing, and people appreciate what we're growing, it's just something. It comes back every week for me. And I love people. So it really makes you feel good where you're growing yourself, because you see people appreciate what you're growing.
I really enjoy doing it. I really enjoy talking to people. We watch kids grow up, and so it's a sense of community, and we like to see people mix it up together, and it's just an activity. You're here, and where are you going to go with your kids on a Sunday morning besides church? So it's just a nice little, meet the farmer, get to know people. It's just a great activity. Bring your grandma out. Everybody comes to sample a few things. You go home. It's just great. So that's how I think the importance of it. It really builds a nice little community bonding thing.
It would be an amazing, amazing world if we could all live organically, but at the same time, you have to change so many different minds. You have to change so many mindsets of what it is to be that, and people aren't really ready for that type of dramatic change. But at the same time, at least I know that people are becoming aware, and I think awareness is the number one, the first step that people can take to at least realize, you know what, I'm gonna order different, or I'm gonna ask my business to be a little bit different than what I think that they should be like.
More and more small farmer market kinds of operations being set up in communities all over California, and independent markets are also gaining a lot of interest in the part of communities because of this desire to shop local. One of the distinctions between the milk pail and, say, regular chain store. Lots of our customers actually know how to cook their way through the kitchen. So it's a little bit, I think, that expression of community and wanting to hobnob with your neighbors and to be part of the community rather than being isolated from it. So I think that's one of the reasons why the milk pail is an attractive alternative to big business. Price is certainly a huge part of it. Selection is a big part of it. Freshness is a big part of it. But the shopping experience is too. I'm quite sure.
We have come a long way, but we still have a long ways to go. And, you know, we're definitely doing better than 25 years ago, but it is very difficult to have a menu, business-wise, to have a menu and say, okay, everything from A through Z, I am going to use organic, because not everything will be local.
As a role of a restaurant is that people are trusting you. When they walk into your door, they trust your judgment, they trust what you're buying, they trust what you are selling to them as a meal, and that it's good for them, and that it's making them healthy, and that it's making them feel good when they walk out the door. Smaller businesses, they are tending to look towards more organic and more sustainable food so that they themselves can start making a difference. It really is a ripple effect, and it all really starts, as cliche as it sounds, it really only starts with you.
More evolution. My generation was, let's evolve. Your generation, rightly so. And it has to be, even I have changed my words. No more evolution, we need a revolution. It is time to absolutely revolutionize the foodways. If we need to sustain for your kids and your grandkids, we got to make the change now.
And so Americans of all ages, in cities, suburbs, and rural areas, will remain the best fed, best clothed, best housed people in the world, thanks to more and more miracles from agriculture.